Oh. Are we on time? No, we can't start early. We can start late.
What time did your phone say?
6:29. But we don't.
6:29.
Oh,
All the way around.
yeah. Oh,
There's
6:30.
2 to 3.
There we are.
There we are.
Okay, should we get started? I suppose until we have a president, I can kind of steer things. So
This is not anything that I'm familiar with.
this is the, what we've got on here that will stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Becky, just in time. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, thanks to both of you again for serving. This is the first meeting of the Economic Development Commission, the Economic Development Authority for the town. I'll get into what the commission does and what we're going to do tonight. But first thing we need to do is Missy was gracious enough to come back to swear you in for your oath of office. And then if you want, you can skedaddle and I can roll with things from there.
Okay. Do they need to stand? Do I need the Bible?
I don't know. You don't need the Bible.
We'll
just stand.
But it's just the
Okay,
repeat
do
after
you guys
me.
want to, okay, do you want to like follow through with me? You're just going to repeat. Okay, so as you see, I, and then state your name. Yeah, right hand. I,
I, Hard Sumeyer,
an appointee of the town council president to the Fortville Economic Development Commission,
an appointee of the Hancock County Council to the Fortville Economic Development Commission.
Development Commission.
uh-oh, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully perform the duties of my appointed office
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully perform the duties of my appointed office
and will support and honor to the best of my ability all applicable laws of the state of Indiana and the town of Fortville.
and will support and honor to the best of my ability all applicable laws of the state of Indiana and the town of Fortville.
I hereby affirm that I will perform the duties of this public trust in a fair, equitable, and ethical manner
I hereby affirm that I will perform the duties of this public trust in a fair, equitable, and ethical manner,
according to the law and to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the law and the best of my ability, so help me God.
If you guys would kindly sign those and forward them my way. I'll sign them. Do you want this extra one for any reason? It has a name on it, so.
Brian,
Yeah.
I guess. Just keep it in the file.
Okay.
Okay. You need me to scratch out some minutes tonight, or is Andy gonna be here?
I don't know.
Andy's not.
Okay, well, we have a quorum. You are sworn in. The first thing that we need to, oh, and I guess I should update your how to provide the details to the extent they are in. It looks like Brian Tornada may actually not be serving on the commission. So it's just the two of you tonight. And we'll figure out if we need a replacement for Brian. The council can address that, but we can move forward with the business of the commission this evening. It's just a little bit of background. I think both of you know, but and for the public that's here, the Economic Development Commission is an entity that's created by Indiana law that the cities and towns can form and utilize to issue financing or issue bonds for development projects. And we've got, as you both know, a variety of projects going on in the town now, Main Street, South Madison Extension, on and on. And the MBAH project that we'll discuss tonight and have a public hearing about, when we were looking at a way to provide the incentives and the help that the town committed to provide the developer if they got the project funding. roughly $675,000, not to exceed that. The way that made the most sense was to create this commission and have the commission actually issue bonds that then we would utilize TIF revenues that were generated by the project. So not taking away TIF from any other, the Thursday pools and all our TIF district over there, but just for this specific project to then repay the developer. So the developer buys the bonds, and then over a period of 15 years, the town would use the TIF generated, the increment generated from the project to repay the developer. So it's just a creative way. It's pretty common throughout the state, but that's what the commission does. So the commission actually issues the bonds. So for issuing the bonds, there are two signatures from this commission that'll be needed on the documents, the president and the secretary. So usually what we would do is we would elect a president and then a vice president, and then the third person would be default the secretary. But we need to make sure that one of you is president and one of you is secretary so that we can actually close the bonds and have two live sworn in members to sign those documents. And then the third person, whether it is Brian, if he decides to stay on, or if we have a replacement, would serve as the VP. Then as a follow-up, really the 90% or more of this commission's work is going to be done at tonight's meeting or after tonight's meeting, and then over the next week or so, signing a handful of bond documents. So, and then from there, it's not like we're going to meet every month. It's not like we're going to meet maybe even once a year if necessary. So it's really just if other projects come up that it makes sense to do the same type of financing for the EDC, then yeah, we'll call you, call it together a meeting and talk about it and move forward. But right now, this is the only project that we have for the town that would utilize the commission in this financing structure. So this should be a fairly infrequently meeting board. Any questions on that? So with that, we need to elect a president, or you need to elect a president.
I know my heart.
Okay.
You gotta be quick, heart.
That's fine. After hearing that. okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
easy,
That's
yeah.
okay, that works.
All right, so got Libby nominates Hart. I don't see any other nominations.
Nobody's.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Thanks.
congratulations, Hart.
Thank you.
And
And by
then
default, do we have to nominate me? Or just
we
stick
don't,
to it?
we
All right.
say if Libby would be secretary
There it is.
and both of you, well, I can turn over the meeting to you to run it now as the president to call for the
Sorry.
Those in
call for the
favor?
question.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay, so we have a president and vice president. The, oh, I'm sorry, yes, we have a president and a thank you. Old habits in there. President and a secretary. Will designate, just for the record, Brian as vice president, but to the extent that he actually tenders resignation, then we'll need to find a replacement for him, and that person will be the VP. So we need to next conduct the public hearing. We noticed this up in the paper. And so we would just open the meeting for the public hearing. If there's anybody in the public that has any comments about the project. So Hart, if you want to open the public hearing, we can do that.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on behalf of the Madison loss resolution proposed? Anybody?
I'm here via Zoom. Do you want me to let the audience go first, Alex, or should I go first? Or when you're ready, let me know.
Okay, well, there's nobody here that's indicating that they want to have any comments. We can, Pete, maybe give a quick overview of the
Yeah.
project, just for the folks that are here.
Absolutely. Well, and thank you, board members, for giving your time to participate and hear our considerations here. My name's Pete Schwigerut, and I'm with MVAH Partners. We are a housing developer. We've been doing housing now for about 28 years. We have around 9,000 units in 16 states. We were excited to introduce ourselves to the town of Fortville a few years ago when they were working through their stellar application to the state of Indiana. And we expressed our interest in helping them facilitate housing, in particular workforce housing, as part of their stellar plan. It was in the plan, and we also identified a site that could work. That is the Deaton Dock site, AKA Madison Village is what it was dubbed in the overall PUD. And with that, we did propose and apply for tax credits through the state to develop a 58 unit workforce housing development. That was last year. We were funded by the state for the tax credits over the summer. And since the summertime, we've been working to bring that development to a closing. Now, there was hopes that we would have this done in the fall. It is a COVID era world though, and that means a few things. Number one, slowdowns in supply chains and so forth, and delays in processes have cost us a couple months here, but we're excited to be very near the finish line here in what will be around a $13 million plus or minus development. And the reason I say plus or minus is in today's world with what's going on with construction, I will get into a potential change that we will be considering. But the development as a whole was funded by the state as 58 units. What you see in front of you is a proposal to build a 58 unit development. Basically, this development will receive some of our tax increment back, as mentioned from Alex, being paid back by the tax revenues and to pay back the bond. We're excited about bringing new high quality housing to the area. It's going to be an 100% accessible development. It's going to be built to green building standards, and will really be the highest quality apartment units in the community. The workforce in Fortville and in the county as a whole has grown. There are somewhere in the range of over 1,000 jobs in the county that are unmet right now, meaning jobs that are available, but unable to fill those. So we're hopeful bringing new housing to the market will allow for people to move in and that need those jobs. So hopefully this development not only will house families and individuals with a high quality housing unit, but hopefully bring employees to match that employment growth that's occurred in the county. We're excited about being here. I mentioned the potential changes. I will preface as we are bringing you something here that is kind of in an evolutionary stage in that, but from the time we started this a year and a half ago to the time we're sitting at today, COVID has really played quite a nasty impact on the construction world. Construction world is really ground zero for the COVID inflationary issues that you hear about in the news. And if anybody has built and been involved in a building or built something recently, you've probably seen some pretty drastic cost increases. So with that, we have been working with the state to identify some ways to fill that gap. And there is the potential that one of the ways the state may want us to solve that gap is by potentially reducing the unit count slightly. So with that being said, we are requesting approval of this fit under a 58 unit premise, but I do want to, I guess, caution or to say that it is possible that we would come back or want to come back and request an amendment for a slightly reduced unit count here shortly. We are waiting on the state right now for them to come to a conclusion on what they want to do. And once we have that final scenario, if it's changed from what's in front of you today, I think the thought is we'll come back and need to request an amendment. I only mention that because I don't want you to think that we're bringing something forward one day and then a minute later we're bringing you something different. We are kind of in a flux here, but in the case that they solve the problem one way, we'll have this 58 unit proposal in a final form. And if they solve it the other way, then we'll just come back to you and explain that edit and hopefully get that amendment done then. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the development or our company or our schedule. Certainly appreciate your time and considerations tonight. And thank you again for your time and considerations.
Is there anybody else from the public that has any comments?
That we could close the public hearing. So the formal, now the hearing is closed. You have in your packet resolution number 2021-01, resolution of the Town of Fortville Economic Development Commission approving and authorizing certain actions and proceedings with respect to certain proposed economic development revenue bonds. And I think you all had Adam maybe sent a copy out this and had a chance to review it. Importantly, to hit this $675,000, it's referenced in the recitals there. That's a not to exceed amount. We think that it's actually 671,300, right, Adam? Right in there. But it's not going to exceed that amount, and that will cover the incentives the town committed to MBAH, and also cover the issuance costs for the legal expenses and Buzz Crohn's accounting. So that's what's wrapped up in that total figure. And again, no initial for the public and for the commission, no money out of pocket for the town, for this commission, for the council. In that you will issue, the commission will issue bonds, which the developer and BAH will buy. And then the bonds will be repaid through the TIF revenues that are generated through the project. So some is colloquially called kind of a paper bond. There's no bank like a normal bond issue. This is really all just in-house and utilizing the tools that the law allows the commission and the council to take advantage of. Second page of this resolution in section 6, it approves the terms of the other documents you have in your packet, and I think you've had a chance to look at those as well. Notably, the financing agreement between the town and the company, which would be MBH, the bond, the form bond agreement, the bond purchase agreement between the town and MBH, and then the town council has on its agenda this evening an ordinance that would authorize a second reading of an ordinance that would authorize the issuance of the bonds. So this resolution formally approves on behalf of the commission moving forward with the project and issuing the bonds for that project not to exceed $675,000, and also authorizes the president and the secretary of the commission to sign in documents and take any actions to close the deal and actually issue the bonds.
Okay.
Questions for me? With that, we just need it's a resolution, so it just takes one reading and one vote, and that's the last bit of action that we would need.
We need a motion. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-01, the Economic Development Commission. Those in favor?
Did Libby second?
Oh, second.
Sorry.
Opposed?
Okay. And I think there is a signature, Adam's passing the signature copy.
Next to Phil now.
I don't have anything further. If you have any questions for me, Adam? you
Alex,
get-
there was one other item in the packet.
Yeah.
The report of the town Economic Development Commission concerning the proposed financing.
Yep.
Presumably they need to approve this tonight as well.
Yes, we can go ahead and do that. You see that? Is that on the agenda as well? Oh, and to approve other documents may be necessary. So what this is, and we'll need a motion and to approve signing this. This is just a summary of the report of what Pete just actually ran through. Workforce housing, they're in paragraph A, 215 South Madison Street redevelopment project. B, commission finds it's not going to be a detriment to anything. It's going to actually, see. We've got services in place to provide for the project already: public ways, schools, water, sewer, light, et cetera, fire protection. Not to exceed 675, total project is 6.3 million at least, which Pete just let us know that sounds like it's going to go up by maybe upwards of $2 million. The jobs created, 2 permanent jobs, approximately 43,680 per job. That was part of the economic development incentive information that MVH provided at the beginning. E, the project will not provide a material adverse competitive effect on similar facilities already constructed or operating in the town. There really aren't any, so that's an easy one to find. So
Motion to approve the report of the town of Fortville regarding the adverse effects of this. All in favor?
all right. Thank you. And thanks, Adam. With that, we can- the motion to close and
Second, all in favor?
all right, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thanks again, everybody.
And I'll just keep both of you posted as time, but we need to get signatures on the actual bond documents and whatnot, probably sometime to move forward from next step. I'll let you know. I'll talk with Dennis, my partner, who's the bond group.
Sure.
And
Thank you.
all right.
Appreciate it.
Adam, am I right in thinking there's a separate Zoom meeting for council?
Correct.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks again.